Actually, in Susan, we're starting with our legs up the wall. We'll be here for about 5 to 7 minutes. Like I said, a little bend in your knees is just fine. Because though this position might take a little effort to settle into, I want to let you know you're doing so much good work for yourself right now. Legs up the wall isn't about how straight your legs can get or how close you are to the wall, but by simply elevating your legs, you start to balance your blood pressure. By balancing your blood pressure, you reduce your heart rate. By reducing your heart rate, you can regulate your breath. Then, by regulating your breath, you allow your nervous system to switch from fight or flight to rest and relax. So, let's take a few deep breaths now that we've settled in, sending all of the air you can to the bottom of your lungs. So, your diaphragm is pushing out, pushing your stomach out. It's called diaphragmatic breathing or belly breath. And then filling up the top of your lungs, the very last. And then as you exhale, squeeze from the bottom of your belly, gently squeezing all of the air out, ending at the top of your lungs. Continue to breathe this way. Long, deep breaths also signal your nervous system that it does not need to be in fight or flight, that it can go into rest and relax mode, because short and shallow breaths signal danger, I need to run. So as your body starts to regulate, I'd like you to remove the outside world. Leave what's at home, work at work, your to-do list alone. This is where you are, so be here and stay here with me. And know that just by simply showing up, you are shifting this proverbial record needle on the record of your life, making it wobble as it starts to regroove and make a new path. A path maybe more in line with who you are, who you want to become, and somebody that fits your values and beliefs. It might also feel uncomfortable to be relaxed and balanced and regulated because we're so used to being on the go, striving to meet expectations that are probably unrealistic. But it is also possible to show our nervous systems that it does not have to be stuck in fight or flight, that we can switch it off when needed. So continue that deep belly breath. That will help you be here. And I invite you to set an intention or a mantra today. Maybe it's as simple as just for today, or I accept myself and my emotions without judgment. But it's also okay to not hold an intention. Either way, you can take a moment to show gratitude for yourself for showing up. And it's really as easy as saying thank you to yourself. So today we're going to explore noticing and accepting differences, and we'll do that by taking some of the same poses, maybe seated and then kneeling, but all the while showing no judgment for one side or the other, whether that means that one side can stretch more easily, one hamstring can let go a little more easy than the other. But this is all to honor your body and the amazing things that it does every day. I'd like to start with like a little body scan. So your feet have been sort of hanging in space. So I'd like you to acknowledge your toes. Are they cold? Are they tingly? What about your calves and your hamstrings? Are your legs getting warmer as all the blood flows down them? Are your hips a little more at ease in this position, or maybe a little more tight? But either way, no judgment. Now, slide your feet down the wall so there's a little bend in your legs. And just take a moment to be in this position. Then when you're ready, you can put the bottoms of your feet together sort of in a butterfly position and bring your legs out. And then take a few breaths to roll to your right side. And you'll find me seated at the top of your mat whenever you're ready. No rush. So next, we're just going to explore a different breath. We're still going to use that diaphragmatic breathing, sending all of the air into our stomach and diaphragm first. But we're going to do, it's called box breathing. So you inhale for, I'm just going to say a count of 4 today, hold for a count of 4, exhale for a count of 4, and hold for a count of 4. The numbers aren't really the important thing. It's just that it's a steady hold and inhale. So let's do that together. So inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Now take a few rounds at whatever pace you would like to, knowing that just breathing can do so much for our bodies. Breathing also brings oxygen to the blood, and blood flows to your muscles. So as we start to get more active, your muscles are just going to be very appreciative of the new oxygenated blood it's receiving. Now, take a moment to really elongate your spine, maybe like there's a string at the top of your head, pulling your head up higher and higher. Sometimes I like to do this like serpentine motion, lets me get a little more height each way. Now we're going to move into seated cat and cow. So on your exhale, you're going to round your back, maybe even coming back on your hips a little bit. And an inhale, rise forward, arching your back. You can take this at whatever speed you would like. It can be big or small. You can grow into a big movement from a small movement. It's all about feeling good. And then switch your legs. So whatever leg was on top, put it on the bottom now. And continue with that nice cat and cow. I like switching legs when doing seated positions. I just feel different stretches in my hips and my legs. And then come to a tall seat. And we're going to put our right hand on the ground and inhale our left arm up, maybe even a bend in the right arm. And we're going to bend into our right side. Now you can spin your ribs up and look up. That's a different stretch. You can spin your ribs down. fully different stretch for me. Take some nice deep breaths into the open side of your body, your left side. Expand that side. And then on the inhale, we'll come back up and we'll go to the left side. Exhale on the way down. Feel free to spin up, spin down, and back up, and we'll switch our legs like we did before. Inhale your left arm up. Inhale, rise. Exhale, left hand to the ground. All the while breathing while you're in the stretch. And then back up to a neutral spine. We're going to make some circles with our hips using the top part of our body. After you do a few one way, feel free to do a few the other way. And then we'll switch our legs, so whichever place on top, on the bottom now, and continue those circles. Switching the other way. Now back at a neutral spine, we're going to enter into a twist. So you'll, on the inhale, raise both arms and then turn, twist to your right side. Right hand will be behind your back, left hand on your right leg. This is our first twist, so you don't have to go very far. We'll do a few of these. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, left hand behind you, right hand to left knee. Inhale up, switch to right. One more time. Now this time, see if you can sit up just a little taller. And then on your next exhale, see if you can twist just slightly more. Inhale, arms up, back to the left side. Take a moment to rise a little taller. And when you're ready on your exhale, take a deeper twist. And then back to center. And we'll meet each other in tabletop. I suggest a blanket under your knees. We're going to do a few things here. And your blocks in the middle of the mat are going to be beneficial for you. Then whenever you're there, we can just start with a different variation of cat and cow. You can wiggle your hips side to side. You can stay in cow and wiggle there. Just finding where your body needs to stretch, all the while breathing. And if your breath doesn't sync up to what I say, that's totally fine. The important part is that you're breathing, that you're always giving your body new oxygen to supply to your blood, to supply to your muscles. And your toes can be tucked underneath your feet or they can lay flat on the ground. Back to a neutral spine. I'd like you to keep your core activated. And when I say that, imagine hugging in the two sides of your ab muscles, hugging them ever so closely to your spine. Or I've heard the analogy of zippering a big puffy winter jacket. We just don't want our stomach to fall and be unsupportive, leaving our back really just open to injury. Now we're going to take some circles in cat and cow. You can go as far back as you want, as far forward. They can be very little. You might find a spot you just want to lean into. And then switch sides, remembering to breathe and to keep that core close. Now, I would like you to take your hands a little more forward, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do more circles. And this is where it's very important to keep your core closed. You'll need it to get back around or back up. I feel the stretch in my armpit a little bit more. And switch directions. All right, hands back under your shoulders. And on the inhale, bring your arm above your head. You can open it if that feels good. And then on the next exhale, you'll send your arm through your left arm into thread the needle. Your left arm can stay just right where it is. It can come out in front of you, over your head to the right side. All provide different stretches. A few breaths here. And then bring your left arm under your shoulder and raise back up to a tabletop. And then we'll go to the left side. So inhale, left arm up. Maybe get a really nice armpit stretch, and then send your arm under your left or your right arm. And then right hand underneath your right shoulder. And then send your hips, or touch your big toes and send your hips back into child's pose. Few deep breaths here. And on your next inhale, sort of tent your fingers, and we're gonna walk our hands to the right side of our body, opening up the left side. And breathe some nice deep breaths into the left side, expanding your left side body. And then back through center on an inhale. Untent your fingers and just go into a child's pose. Maybe notice how the sides feel different. You can put a block under your head if that's needed or wanted. The next inhale, tent your fingers and walk to the left side. And back to center. And just enjoy just a few more breaths in child's pose. And when you're ready, meet me back in tabletop. Now we're going to send our right leg out to our side at a 90-degree angle. So your foot will actually be on, not on a mat. And I'd like you to glue the outside of your foot to the floor, if that feels good. If it's straining, obviously don't do it. Now walk your hands back, zippering that core, holding it close to our spine. We're going to raise up and just find some balance here. Make sure your hips aren't, they're in line with your body. And then we're going to bring our left hand up, follow our right leg with our right hand. Again, you can turn, you can spin, you can explore this pose. Then on the inhale, we'll raise back up. And this is where your block might come in handy. Exhale, we're going to come to the left side with our right arm above our ears. And then a little added challenge could be to raise your right foot, flexing it. And then back to center on the inhale. Now we're going to kind of flow that. So just follow your breath. So on an exhale, right hand to right leg. Inhale through center. Exhale over. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale over. Last time on this side, inhale up. Exhale down. And then inhale up. Exhale. Now while we're here, to get out of the pose, we're just going to spin our right hand to sort of the same place our left hand is and walk our hands to the center. Back into tabletop, and then send your hips back into child's pose. Rise up. We'll do the left side now. So take your left foot out to the side, gluing that outside edge of your foot. And then inhaling your right arm up, we'll follow our left leg with our left hand. Exploring while we're here, noticing and then moving on from it, no judgment. Inhale through center, exhale to our right side. Trying to find long lines, opening up as much space as we can on our left side. And now we'll start to flow. Inhale, rise up. Exhale to the left leg. Inhale, rise up, down to the right hand. Raising that foot if you'd like, keeping it flexed. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Last time. Inhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. And then spin your chest to the ground, gently walking your hands back to the center and send your hips back into child's pose. Whenever you're ready, meet me in tabletop. We're just going to do a really nice runner stretch. So bring your right foot forward, heel on the ground. And you can start to feel the difference from legs up the wall. Maybe your hamstrings a little tighter in this position. You can twist your foot right and left. Twisting it in will open your sit bones to the right. Definitely a different stretch. When you're ready, you can put your foot on the floor and we'll start to enter into a low lunge and then back. Maybe getting deeper and deeper each time. We're doing this to prepare our hips and our hamstrings for pigeon. Two more times. Now, the next time you're back and your legs extended, take your foot across your mat to the left side. And it's not going to be a straight line. Your leg's going to be at an angle. And you're just going to sit down in that. So sometimes a bolster underneath your hips is really nice. Everyone looks good. So take a moment to extend your spine, drop your ears or drop your shoulders away from your ears. And then we're going to fold over into sleeping pigeon. A block is sometimes nice underneath your hands or your head or your bolster under your head too. We're going to be here for about a minute or so. I'm going to figure out this music while you're here. Deep breaths. Maybe breathing into the uncomfortable parts of this pose. Sending all that good oxygenated blood to those parts. On your next inhale, bring your hands underneath your shoulders. You'll push up, tuck your left toes, and then send your right foot back into downward facing dog. And please put a very big bend in your knees, maybe even just a half downward facing dog. It's our first one. You can pedal your feet. You can swing your hips side to side. Try to look through your arms. Dropping your head is so much weight on your neck. It will also affect your blood pressure too. Set your knees down and send your hips into child's pose. On your next inhale, bring yourself to tabletop and we'll do the runner stretch on the left side. So left heel to the ground. Feel where your hamstrings are at right now. You can rock your foot side to side. Opening and closing your sit bones. And then whenever you're ready, put your foot on the ground and start these small, low lunges. Maybe getting deeper and deeper each time. All to prepare for pigeon. And the next time you're back, you're going to take your foot across your mat to the right side. Into pigeon. And sit up. Find your length in your spine. Drop your shoulders from your ears. And on your next exhale, come to sleeping pigeon. Your next inhale, bring your hands under your shoulders, tuck your right toes, send your left leg back to meet your right in downward facing dog, making your hips the first thing that lead. And this bend doesn't have to be as great this time. We're opening up all the muscles. But still explore this, leaning side to side, maybe bending the knees so you get a deeper shoulder stretch. Then we're going to walk our hands back to meet our feet. You can move your blanket to the side. You won't need it right now. And in forward fold, I'd like you to acknowledge your feet. Are all of the sides and the corners receiving the same amount of pressure? You can grab your elbows and twist in forward fold. We won't be here for long. Now plant your feet, make sure everything's receiving the same amount of pressure, and gently roll up. And now again, evaluate your feet. Do they feel a little different now that you're standing? The weight balance is different. Are they both pointing forward? And just take a moment to ground yourself and be present in mountain pose. Always remembering to breathe. Standing takes a lot of effort too. Next, we're going to do Dasha Chalana, which is called the 8 turning. So we're going to start to send synovial fluid to all of our joints. So we'll start with ankle rotations. It's 8 times each way. And this will prepare us. We have just a little bit more active stuff before restorative feel good poses. And switch whenever you're ready. And then the other ankle when you've gotten to 8. Next one is bring your feet slightly closer together. You'll put a little bend in your knees and we will circle our knees. 8 times each way. And then the next one are big hip circles. So take your feet wider and just bend your hips around. 8 times again each way. After the 8 turnings, we are going to simply do 8 half sun salutations. And I've chosen 8 half sun salutations because they're great at getting your heart rate up. And I'll tell you why. So the next thing are these really fun arm swings, and you can get fun with them. You can lift up your foot. So you'll do 16. But getting your heart rate up, followed by really nice, relaxing, deep, restorative poses, you will be able to feel the effects of the relaxation you receive much more greater than if your heart rate wasn't up. This is also just getting your heart rate up too. But anything with your arms over your head will immediately raise your heart rate. All right, after 16, we'll just do some simple shoulder rolls, forming up all the parts of your body that are incorporated into even just a half sun salutation. 8 times each way. Okay, now neck circles, and everyone's different about neck circles. So take your brand of neck circles, 8 times each side, 16, whatever feels good. Whenever you're done with that, bring your feet hip width distance apart, not wide or very close together. And I will just refamiliarize ourselves with a half sun salutation. So you inhale your arms up, exhale down, inhale halfway lift with a straight spine, exhale down, then inhale all the way back up with a deep bend in your knee. That's one half sun salutation. We will do 8 of them. And if you don't get the right breath synced up, that's fine. Just keep breathing. Remember, we need the oxygen for the blood. So let's do this. All right. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale halfway, exhale down. Inhale all the way up, exhale down. Inhale up, down. Inhale all the way up, exhale down. Inhale up, down, all the way up, down, halfway up, down, all the way up, halfway, down, up, all the way back up, all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift, exhale down, inhale all the way up, exhale down, inhale up, exhale down, inhale all the way up. Last time, exhale down, inhale, halfway lift, exhale down, and inhale all the way back up. Take your feet wide. And we are going to come into Malasana. So a block might be good to have, 1 or 2, but we're going to slowly lower our body in between our legs. The idea is to use our elbows to push out our knees. 2 blocks might be a little much. Again, with our straight spine, maybe use that serpentine motion to gain a little more height. Then if you have a block underneath you, take it out. And we're gonna see if we can gently controlled roll ooh, down to our seat. And then we'll meet on our back. I suggest putting a blanket underneath our back because we will turn to our stomachs and it'll be nice underneath our hips too. I'm going to start with some gentle windshield wipers. Your feet can be wherever you would like them, whatever feels good. They can be small or big. You can stay to one side or the other. Then bring your feet closer together and lift up your hips, move them to the left side. So you can turn into a supine twist by dropping your knees to the floor, sort of like you're sitting in a chair. 90-degree angle, yep. Your arms can be out to a T. If your left shoulder is able to stay on the ground. If not, you can just stay in a nice side lying pose. Remembering to breathe, sending all that good oxygen into your system, all that breath down your belly. It might be nice to put a block in between your legs. Your hips are having some discomfort. And then on your next inhale, bring your legs back to center, any way that feels good. And then we'll lift our hips up again, sending them to the right and bending our knees in a 90-degree angle like you're sitting in a chair. Remembering that block if it felt good on the other side. So both sides can be very different. Arms out to a T. Remembering your breath. On your next inhale, bring your knees back to facing the sky. And then we're going to hug our knees into our chest and our belly. Try taking a few deep breaths in this position. Letting your knees move if they need to. And then gently rocking back and forth, side to side. Making nice circles if that feels good. And if happy baby is in your practice, feel free to take that now. And if happy baby isn't in your practice, you can maybe take half happy baby, which is grabbing the top or the bottom of your foot, bringing your knee into your chest, and then sending that leg actually to the outside of your body. And you can rock your baby. You're in half happy baby. The knee, your left leg bent will probably feel better than it being extended. But maybe you would like that deep thigh stretch on the left-hand side. And if you're in half happy baby, go ahead and switch sides. Feet back to the earth. And go ahead and meet on your right side. And you're going to put your knees back into that 90-degree chair angle again. Your right arm can be under your right head, or your hand can be supporting your head. But take your left hand, put it in front of your chest, and you're simply going to rock yourself. Rocking is one of the most calming things to our nervous systems. That's why babies love it. That's why even rocking chairs are so relaxing to us. And then meet on your stomach, where we will start doing windshield wipers. So your feet will be to the sky. Next, we're going to take, it's called half frog. So you're going to take your right leg and again make that seated 90-degree angle position. And sometimes a block or blanket feels good under your knee, maybe even a bolster. But we will be here for 3 minutes. So whatever feels the best in half frog. Gently bring your right leg to meet your left leg. And put your head down and just notice the differences between the sides. One leg feel longer? Does the front of one leg feel more relaxed? And now we'll do the same thing on the left side. So bring your left leg out to that 90-degree angle. And use whatever props you need to make it the most comfortable for 3 minutes. Bring your left leg to meet your right. Take a few deep breaths. Whenever you're ready, we're going to set up for Supta Baddha Konasana, which is bound eagle pose. And I can show you. If this pose is not for you, that's totally fine. I invite you to take whatever restorative pose you would like, but you're going to take your blocks and make sort of a stepping stone up. And then you'll lay your bolster over the blocks. More, the blocks will be more towards the top of your bolster. And then when you get there, you're going to put the very back of your back and hips against the back and gently drape your body over. Now, if you need more blocks to put under your knees, I can grab those for you. Or a nice way with your blanket is to roll it this way and then drape it over your feet and around the back of your legs, and that will keep you supported. So if anyone would like some help, I'm here to help. Yeah, here you go. Use this one. And then just around there, and then open your legs like a butterfly. Yep, that's it. And your legs can be long. If that feels better, your legs can even be bent with your feet on the floor. We are going to take this pose and it will carry over into Shavasana. So please feel free to remove yourself from it. Put yourself in corpse pose if that feels nice, or whatever other pose feels good for you. Yes, that your back will be right against the edge of the ball. Yes, ma'am. Yep. I chose it. Take these next few minutes to really let the relaxation seep into your body that your nervous system is allowing you to have. I will be here. I will watch over you. And I will call you back to this room when it is time. But for now, just relax. Start to make small movements with your fingers and your toes in your larger body parts much slower. And when you're ready, you can roll off your bolster onto your right hand side. Come to a seat whenever you're ready. I invite you to bring your hands to heart center, gently pushing them together. And I want to thank you for being here at this class with me. I hope this calmness and the ease, hopefully you've gained from this class, carries forward into the rest of this day and the rest of the weekend. The light in me sees and honors the light in each and every one of you. Namaste. Mm. Thank you, everyone. Everyone looks pretty relaxed. Might be hard to get going.